Courtney Courtright. Thanks so much for joining me for 9 on the Positive Side today. We have another great show in store for you. We're taking a look at some of our favorite stories over the last year. A little girl from Greenville is making quite the name for herself. She's teaching the world to see things her way, hoping to inspire one little girl at a time.
Melanin girl, what do you see? I was looking myself in the mirror and I said, I'm pretty, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, and I'm intelligent.
Looking at this confident little girl, you might have thought Aubrey Suggs always saw herself that way.
She questioned, Mom, why didn't God give me long hair? Why didn't God give me colored eyes? And why my skin so dark?
But with reassurance from her mom and dad,
I see an intelligent girl looking at me.
We just poured into her that she was beautiful.
Aubrey learned to see her beauty.
Most little girls think, why does my face don't look like that? And I want them to know that black girls are beautiful and they're smart.
It's that message.
I see a creative girl looking at me.
Through this book.
My book is about what melanin girls see in the mirror.
Aubrey wrote all by herself in just one day.
I see a beautiful girl looking at me. I really put my mind into it and prayed about it, and then it came true. It's like a wish that came true. I see a blessed girl looking at me.
We just try to put that spirit in our kids that they can do anything.
Aubrey is inspiring others.
She cheered on other little girls to let them know, if you don't feel like you have anybody else on your team, I'm on your team.
That's why she put the journal in the back of the book so they can write down qualities about herself.
To notice what Aubrey sees when Aubrey looks in the mirror.
I feel pretty and I feel blessed and I feel smart. Melanin girl, you are lovely in every way.
And we have an update for you. Aubrey actually has 2 books now, the one we just told you about, and this one you're looking at right there, Melanin Boy, What Do You See? We told you a year ago she was writing the book with her brothers to inspire boys. For links to Aubrey's books, just go to our website, WNCT.TV. Great work, Aubrey. With great power comes great responsibility. In the case of a Charlotte man, it took a traumatic event before he eventually found his inner superhero. Now he uses his alter ego to make people smile. John Lee is showing us the therapeutic value of being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
They say not all superheroes wear capes. This guy next door puts on his onesie one leg at a time, like everyone else. It takes a few zips to transform into a webmaster. Spider-Man gave us eye-popping access.
My buddy Peter Parker works at the Daily Bugle, but today I'm here with my friend John Lee from Queen City News.
But clearly, I'm no Peter Parker, and this is no garden variety Spidey.
It's nice to unwind a little bit and, smell the roses, so to speak.
Superheroes have an origin story that explains how they got their powers and why they use their gifts for good.
The whole reason for getting into Spider-Man was to turn something that impacted me so negatively into something positive.
Hey, I'm Dustin Clark, aka Spider-Man.
Dustin's Spider-Man origin story goes back to December of 2017.
I got hit, and I remember feeling as if the whole car was like spinning, like 360s. I was in a car accident.
A vehicle rammed into the driver's side of his car on Highway 64 outside Pittsburgh.
A lot of my injuries were invisible, in that I did have back pain, neck pain, headaches, and a concussion. And unbeknownst to me, I also was later diagnosed with PTSD from the accident, depression, and anxiety.
Along with the physical injuries, the crash had a lingering impact on his mental health.
So car horns, whether it was me hitting it or hearing it, instant, like, what's going on, flashbacks.
While getting help for both his physical and invisible injuries, you might say he found wisdom on the web.
You're like me.
And when I was watching the movie Into the Spider-Verse, they had a line about, no matter how many hits I take, I always get back up. And when I heard that, I was in the movie theater and I was like, oh my gosh.
It was almost like he was bitten by a radioactive spider.
So then I decided, okay, well, once I get some of my insurance money for this accident, I'd love to maybe buy a suit and I can give back to the hospital and go visit some sick kids.
He bought 4 Spider-Man suits, and cosplay became his healing hobby.
So I wanted to give back to the community after such a challenging life event.
Because of COVID restrictions, visiting a hospital wasn't an option right away. But that didn't stop him from suiting up and making appearances wherever he could. On Instagram, he goes by Spider-Man NC.
It's certainly cool because I get to see how excited they get.
Last month, he finally made his web slinger debut at Levine Children's Hospital.
They want to run up, they say, "Spider-Man!" and they're running up, giving me high fives, hugs.
Can you take a photo together?
It is so cool, and to know that I can like brighten their day a little bit, especially when they're going through those circumstances.
Dustin says it's important to be open about his mental health struggles.
Because there's such a stigma around mental health. And if I can share my story and help normalize it, I think that's going to help continue to bring it out into the open.
And by unmasking his vulnerability, he shows a degree of courage worthy of any superhero.
With great power comes great responsibility.
In Charlotte, John Lee, Queen City News.
And Dustin says you don't have to wear a Spider-Man suit to be a superhero. He's urging you to do something, no matter how small, to brighten someone's day. And if you have a story idea, send it over to us. We want to hear about the positive things happening in your communities. Just email newsdesk@WNCT.com. Again, it's newsdesk@WNCT.com. You can also reach out to me on Facebook or over on Twitter.
I actually love challenges, and I like everything about my job.
At just 7 years old, this young train conductor is on the job. Coming up, how he's inspiring others. And later, a 4-legged friend is helping out on the ball field with a job you might not expect. We all have talent, but some would say the best is when we share that talent with children. Chad Tucker introduces us to a man who loves sharing woodworking with the youngest hearts.
This is where he does all his magic.
Harry loves woodworking.
See all these little pieces?
And loves introducing the craft to kids.
But this is what we're going to make today. We're going to make a treasure chest. We'll hold that in place.
From his home workshop to his church.
There's 2 size nails. There's a long one and a short one.
He helps bridge it all for the littlest hands.
Do we put it in these little holes?
Yep. And I've had some say that they had never used a hammer before. So it was fun to see them getting for the first time to be able to do a hammer.
Love picked up a hammer in high school and taught himself out of necessity.
I was in the service with a tiny little girl. She outgrew her crib, and I said, well, we need a bed.
Now he makes beds for his grandkids.
And I built them for all the grandchildren. And then we put little tags on the end, and this got their birth date. So
over the years, he's gotten quite creative.
Even drew the faces on that.
The front lifts up here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so you can clean that out.
Making everything from the littlest treehouses.
I built this out of pressure-treated lumber.
To big ones like these.
I've had that happen too. Yeah.
Even swings like this one for his childhood sweetheart. They've been married for 55 years.
We were childhood bride and groom.
Good. But the sweetest part of sharing his talent, he gives most of it away.
I think that's good. You know, Harry gave that to me. I remember that. That brings me joy to know that I could do that for somebody.
In High Point, North Carolina.
Okay, that one needs a little more.
I'm Chad Tucker.
Who knows, down the road they may have an interest in it. So.
And he gives most of his work to his church for its yearly bazaars. Did you know what you wanted to be when you were 7? Well, most of us could probably say probably not, but for one 7-year-old Caleb Clowman, you see him right there, he seems to have it figured all out. Kitty Ambrine takes us all aboard the young train conductor's ride.
All aboard! You may have been on a train before, but you probably didn't have a 7-year-old as your conductor. That is, unless you've been on a tour with Caleb Clayman this summer at the National Railroad Museum.
That red building, that has the restoration shop. It was used to restore stuff, and we still restore stuff today. I just started like trains when I was a baby, and then I started, and then my mom worked here, and I started playing with the trains inside.
Part of Caleb's job is not only sharing his knowledge of locomotives with passengers, but making sure they have a laugh too.
Once I saw a fisherman on this bridge one day, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm trying to catch a train."
Caleb's mom, Stephanie, who is also the chief financial officer at the museum, says she could not be more proud of her son.
It's really neat watching your kid just take on something and like own it and be confident. He's 7 and he's doing a train tours for 20 to 60 folks when he's here, and it's neat to see that confidence in somebody so young.
Caleb may have a passion for trains, but there's something else he enjoys about being a conductor.
The reason I like working here is because it's supporting the museum. I actually love challenges, and I like everything about my job. Thanks for riding.
In Ashwaubenon, Katie Amrine, Local 5 News.
And if you're looking for more good news, we've made it super easy to you. Just go to our website, WNCT.com. There you'll find these stories and more under the 9 on the Positive Side tab. You can find it under Features. We also have all of our 9 on the Positive Side shows there too, if you would like to rewatch them.
I said, "Hey, Julie, whose dog is this?"
So whose dog was it, and how did it snuggle into one family's bed? The answer is next. Nothing more fundamental in baseball than a game of catch, but there is one minor league star that grew up playing fetch. Chris Van Cleve has more from the Diamond.
The 1988 hit Bull Durham was a major home run for the minor league Durham Bulls. But now it's a dog that has fans barking for more. Meet Ripken, the bat dog.
I actually sometimes have to apologize to the players because they'll ground out to second and all of a sudden the crowd just goes crazy.
Crazy for this 6-year-old black lab playing cleanup, collecting the bats for the hometown team. And Ripken's also a good luck charm for Bulls outfielder Miles Mastroboni.
Do you worry people will say that you're just letting the game go to the dogs?
No. Not at all, actually.
Assistant General Manager Chip Allen says the team did have a couple canine concerns.
Would the bats come back wet? Would they have teeth marks in it? And I don't know how Ripken does it. No saliva on the bats, no teeth marks.
It helps his owner, Michael O'Donnell, is a dog trainer and former college baseball player.
We started with just kind of playing fetch with bats in the backyard and having fun.
How did you get the dog to ignore all of the balls on the field?
Lots of practice.
Letting O'Donnell live out his baseball dreams through his 4-legged best friend.
Good boy.
While hoping the big leagues throw Ripken a bone sometime soon. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Durham.
Good job, Ripken. And you've heard of strange bedfellows, but this story from Polk County out in Tennessee gives those words new meaning. Jamie Yukis reports on unusual dog adventure.
The Johnsons woke during a thunderstorm to find their bed was more crowded than usual.
I said, "Hey, Julie, whose dog is this?"
Cuddled next to them was a dog they didn't know.
Rolled over on my side of the bed and he goes, no, it's not our dog.
So who was this mystery visitor?
1, how did the dog get in my house? 2, we have 3 dogs, Jupiter, Hollis, and Zeppelin, and they bark at anything. A squirrel in the yard, a rabbit, a bird, they bark.
This time they didn't, and the intruder was able to wander in through the back door. The Johnsons posted pictures of their new friend on Facebook, and a neighbor replied.
We got a Facebook message saying, "Hey, that's my dog. I'll be there in a few minutes. What's your address?"
Nala had slipped out of her collar and traveled nearly 2 miles before finding a warm place to rest.
Matter of fact, I was still laying in the bed snuggling with Nala when her mom walked in the room.
Cameras were rolling for the Hollywood ending.
Nala's on her way over. Yeah, Nala.
The happy reunion when Nala's owners brought her back for a visit. What started as strange bedfellows ended as new best friends. Jamie Yukis, CBS News.
He'll come up and give me a hug and makes me feel loved.
Most of us know what emotional support animals are, but there's one making the list in Florida that's unique to have the title. When it comes to pets, no country in the world comes close to the United States. Dogs are America's favorites, followed by cats, fish, and birds. But CBS's Steve Hartman goes on the road with a pet that didn't make the list.
When you see an alligator coming down the street towards you, it's only natural to either drop your jaw or panic that he'll drop his. But alligator expert Joe Henney says his alligator poses no threat.
I've never met an alligator that will not bite you. You fool around the head like this, their instinct is to grab you. He does not do it. You can reach in there and rub his tongue. He refuses to close his mouth. We don't know why. Yeah, there you go.
Wally was found in a pond at Disney World. He had to go. And since in Florida it's illegal to relocate alligators to another spot in the wild, Joe agreed to take him in. Today, Wally lives on Cheetos and chicken legs in Joe's house near Hershey, Pennsylvania, without a cage.
Good boy.
At this point, I should probably say what should go without saying. Don't try this at home. Joe says there may not be another alligator on the planet as gentle, and certainly no other as cuddly.
I don't think I'd be here right now if this was just another guy with an alligator. Not that there's a whole lot of those out there, but there's a special bond between you two.
Very special. He is my emotional support alligator.
You heard right. Emotional support alligator. A few years ago, after Joe lost some people close to him, he says he fell into a deep depression. And about that same time, he says Wally began behaving differently, more affectionate, almost like he sensed his depression.
I laid on the couch and I wake up, he'd be laying on my head, and I knew it was for a long period of time because I had this whole jaw print on my face.
You don't wake up when you have an alligator on your face?
I was so depressed, I did not.
It also marked a new chapter in their relationship. Joe started bringing Wally everywhere, from the doctor's office to the drive-thru.
You can pet him.
He's been to a splash park
Wally.
And was even ring bearer in a wedding. They are together day and, yes, night too. And as a result, Joe says his depression is dramatically improved.
I'll get lonely and stuff like that there, and he seems to sense that stuff, and he'll come up and give me a hug, and makes me feel loved.
He may be an alligator, but I can attest, those are not crocodile tears. Steve Hartman, on the road, near Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Really a bond like no other. And that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching this weekend. We'll see you next time right here on 9 on the Positive Side.